Job well done. Job well done. Proving it, validating it, putting a stamp on it. That's how you win. Absolutely. You get a standing ovation for that. You absolutely get a standing ovation. By the way, I get these asshole people constantly telling me, Sileo always, I apologize for no takes. You know why? I stand by what I say. And when I'm proven wrong by a player's actions, again, you know what it's not called, according to some of you? It's not waffling. It's a player proving you wrong. Like Carson Wentz, playing great, proving us wrong, all of us. Jalen Hurts is now in that conversation. That was one of the most iconic defensive football performances I have seen in Super Bowl play since the Bears took apart the Patriots. By the way, all supers go to the top. Please hit the like button. Only way I will be disrupted in the open is if there are supers. We will end up putting those front and center as we always do. Please hit the like button. That was one of the greatest defensive performances I have ever seen. I mean, you said it was theory, not fact. That we're out-coached. Put some respect on my coach. Let me get there. The only other game I can see that's close to this is the Bears, like I said, taking apart the Patriots 46-10. In that game, the Bears had 408 and held the Patriots 123 yards in total offense and 7 yards rushing. However, we're talking Drew Bledsoe versus Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I know Parcells was the coach of that team, but this is a different animal here. I mean, they absolutely put the whooping board to them, and it was really not close. I mean, this was a coin toss thing. The Rams game was closer. It was just a great performance. You know, we said this too. You had to win the line of scrimmage. Kansas City just couldn't win the line of scrimmage. Hurts, without a doubt, had a hell of a football game. The story in that game is Vic and his guys. You want to hear something in that football game? They used no blitzes, and they got home 6 times. Do you understand how insane that is? You beat the Chiefs with 4 dudes on defense in your front 4. 0 blitzes. You did not bring 1 blitz in that game. And you got to Mahomes. That was absolutely a tremendous performance, to say the least. We'll do our takeaways here in a second. We'll also go by the numbers, game balls. I have Super Bowl awards to give out. Please hit the like button. I mean, it was just an onslaught. Don't ever tell me Patrick Mahomes is in the conversation ever again with being considered the GOAT with Brady or Montana. Those guys never were embarrassed like that. They were never embarrassed in a ball game like that. Kansas City Chiefs did not show up. I don't want to hear people tell me, well, they didn't play well. You know, it's their worst game in 5 years. Fuck that, man. Show up. It's a Super Bowl. You're playing for greatness. I mean, they were never in the ball game. Sills, what's scary for the league is the Eagles' defense is only going to get better here. Yeah, I think they're going to be better next year. We won the Super Bowl in our defensive rebuild year, which is absolutely insane. You did lose and will lose a coordinator. And that will always be a iffy proposition because that's been hit or miss for Howie. Do I think that'll be a factor? it depends if you stay to your formula if you're going to run the ball next year. Or you're going to try to get the passing game going again. Why would you try to get the passing game going? Maybe you would try to improve the passing game, but fuck, man. You won that football game because of what you are. You're dominant on both sides of the football. Woke media gave DEI Hurts the MVP. Well, I think Josh Sweat should have been in that conversation, but he probably needed a few more sacks. You're never going to give that award to the people who actually deserve that thing. Not that Jalen was a reach for that. He wasn't. He played exceptionally well in that football game. That's not. But Josh Sweat and that front four were just absolutely torturing the Kansas City Chiefs all night long. Josh Sweat was the best player on the field. He was fucking torturing the Chiefs. They could not answer him. Man, did he make a ton of money tonight. He made a ton of money last night. Holy cow. The coordinating by Vic Fangio, that's one of the greatest displays I've ever seen. I mean, it just was insane. So let me get to some of the takeaways here. By the way, supers go to the top. Please hit the like button. We appreciate all of you. Just a tremendous performance. Here's our takeaways. Destroyed the Chiefs. 0 blitzes. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. And then prior to the game, you deactivated a $50 million free agent, said, no, only the best players are going to play in this game. The people that gave us the great practice, the people that were here with us, the people that deserve it are going to play in this game. They had one blitz. Okay, one blitz. That's fucking insanity. To get that many sacks. Okay? Unbelievable. Shit. People are going like this. Sills, they proved you wrong. Really? No shit. Thanks, doctor. What did you see last night? I know what I saw. There were a lot of things that were stamped last night and what those guys did. Tremendous job, man. Price Up was told to sit the fuck down. We don't need you. Thank you. Unbelievable. I've been a Hurts fan for a long time, Sills, and I've had to bite my tongue these past few years while listening to your show. Say it, big guy. Elite. We'll get to all this in a minute, my friend. Okay? That defensive performance reminded me of the Cowboys in 91 when Aikman completed 11 passes and was sacked 11 times. What going through Hassan? Head could have got paid. Unbelievable, Ramir. No question. Could have been part of something great. Instead, fucked around in the offseason, got himself in a situation where he lost a ton of money, and he lost a year of his career. Ridiculous. How about the coaching job? Outcoached. Andy Reid and Spagnuolo outcoached by Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore, and Nick Sirianni. Completely outcoached. Kansas City, they looked worse than Dallas. I mean, they just absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage. Dominated the line of scrimmage. Now, again, folks, this is what I saw last night. Okay? This is what I saw. Completely manhandled them. Dude, I didn't hear Quinyon Mitchell's name one time. Because you know why? Outside of Xavier Worthy, I didn't fucking hear anybody else. Travis Kelce is toast. He was brutal in that game. Drop passes, horrible routes, had a lot to do with the way that the linebackers played. What the fuck, man? There's no drop-off with Oren Burks going in the game? There was not one bit of drop-off from the Kobe Dean to Oren Burks. Not one bit of drop-off. That's incredible coaching and preparation by the player, by the talent evaluator, Howie Roseman, and by the coach, Bobby King. And Vic. Unbelievable. You had not one moment of drop-off in that game with Oren Burks in there. Nothing. He played as good as Nakobe did this year. That fucking guy was playing great. That's a testament to the guys up front. Seals, you've been pissed me off all season. I feel like you may have pissed off the Birds as well. They are now Super Bowl champs. I love them for it. And you for the motivation. Go Birds. Hey, dude, I got to tell you, I didn't believe it. Doesn't matter. Reality. Nothing is theory anymore. Nothing is theory. Zander, if I missed the super, please. I think Tony's saying that I missed his super chat. If I did, Tony, I apologize. Nothing's theory. Dotson sighting. Holy shit. Had more yards than KC in the first half. Unbelievable numbers. I got it written down here. There's actually a Jahan Dotson sighting. Fucking unbelievable. Everything he did in that game last night, I take back. He's worth the trade. Because he got the offense going. Dotson. Unbelievable. How about this? After the first quarter, I wrote this note down. The fucking Eagles had 115 yards in total offense. Kansas City had 19. Kansas City had 19. I mean, how about what I watched and what I saw and what the difference between Mahomes and Hurts was last night? You want to hear the significant difference in the game? Jalen was ahead of his checks. Mahomes was behind. He was confused the entire night. Hurts wasn't. He knew what he was looking at. His checkdowns and his checkouts were spot on 95% of the game. He was better prepared for that Super Bowl last night than Patrick fucking Mahomes was. Watch the game again. Hurts was on target the entire night on where to go with the ball. His pre-snap reads were the best I've seen him in 4 years. That's the worst I've seen. Mahomes was playing behind the routes the entire night. You're like this. He's fucking throwing it right to Oren Burks. He couldn't see him. So remember when you said, how did our defense improve this year? Most shocking thing to you. It is. When you said, how did our defense improve? Is this the most shocking thing to you? I can't believe that, how great they've gotten week in and week out. I can't believe how great Zach Bond has played week to week. I cannot fucking believe that. Zander, I missed the super. Here reading Ace's super chat. The QB coach tandem that the Eagles beat for our last 3 championships. Mahomes, Reed, 2024, Brady, Belichick, Starr, Lombardi. Pretty impressive. That's a historical thing there, but that is. I've got some numbers here, too, which makes it even more fucking insane what they did last night. Guys, please hit the like button. He did this more so than in Super Bowl 57. And what he did in 59. Like I said, you had no sacks in Super Bowl 57. None. You had no pressure in 57. You were everywhere. It looked like the Eagles had 20 players on defense last night. Kudos. How about this one? I mean, cover 4. Vic came up with cover 4 last night. He had cover 4 63.6% of the time last night on Mahomes on dropbacks. Mahomes was 4-8 for 23 yards and a pick. He played cover 4 last night against Mahomes, and Mahomes couldn't figure it out. He could not figure out cover 4. Vic gave him a different look. Almost 64% of the time, he had him in cover 4. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just tremendous. At the half, KJ, what do you think about the refs? I think they settled down after the first 2 shitty calls. I think there was one that was totally fucking stupid on AJ, and then I think that McDuffie one was like a makeup one, and I think they settled down after that. You know what I'm saying? KJ, I think they kind of settled that down. Thank you for being straight with the audience. Go Birds. Tremendous performance. And KJ, I didn't really hear him after that. You know what I mean? Cheers to the Eagles and all players. It's funny, Nick and Hurts have a Super Bowl ring before Dak and Scott. How we got to pay some players. Going to get to all this. Tremendous performance. Kudos to you. Congratulations. You proved Big Sil's wrong. Prove me wrong. This is bigger than Lamar proving me wrong. Because both sides of the football proved me wrong. Tremendous. Kudos. How about this? Last night, 52.4 pressure rate you had on the quarterback. With what you guys are saying, 1 blitz. It defined the game. It defined the game. When was the last time the backups came in to finish up a Super Bowl? It was embarrassing if you're Kansas City. You were blown off the field. Defense and Hurts and coaching were the storylines in that Super Bowl. Defense, Hurts, and coaching in that order. You know, I know all of you want to, because the quarterback gets all the kudos. I'm a defensive guy. That's one of the greatest displays I've ever seen. Just absolutely shut them down without any problems. I mean, they couldn't handle not just Jalen Carter. They couldn't handle the entire defense. They couldn't handle the edge rushers. They couldn't handle the corners. They couldn't handle the disguised coverages. It was just, without a doubt, an insane display on what they did defensively. It's the greatest defense in Eagle history. This defensive beatdown was like the 85 Bears and the 13 Hawks. Bro, this thing's like that. It's like that Super Bowl. Like I said, the Bears beat the Patriots team. Tremendous. Tremendous. We'll get to the numbers here in a second, but defense, Hurts, and coaching were superior in the game. Here, I'll do it for you guys. I used to do it for other teams. That's as close as the game was the coin flip. Hurts' pick turnover had no bearing this time. They went out and beat the fuck out. I thought this thing would be close, but I did not believe Kansas City could stop your toughness. I didn't believe they would embarrass your toughness. It was embarrassing. You're Kansas City. You haven't been destroyed like that in 5 years. And I don't want to hear excuses. You didn't fucking show up. Tremendous legacy win for the entire organization from top to bottom. Haven't seen such a dynamic performance like this since Denver and Seattle. Will this 2024 team be considered one of the greatest of all time? I'll tell you this, greatest of all time has to be done with multiple championships before you want to be called the greatest of all time. You don't get crowned being the greatest of all time with one title. That's why you talk the Patriot dynasty, what the Chiefs are in the middle of, the Cowboy dynasty. You've got to win multiple. However, the amount of winning that you have done the last 4 years, combined with that beating and the 2 Super Bowl appearances, that puts you now in a conversation to start that convo. See, you couldn't do this in 17. That wasn't one of the greatest teams of all time. That was one of the greatest upsets of all time. That team had no Super Bowl window. You know why? Because that was more kind of like a fluke, what you did in that game. This ain't no fluke. That's why this win's different. This win's different than 17. Nobody knew that they were going to go in there and beat that. Dude, people were kind of thinking it would be a blowout, but they weren't sure. I couldn't believe Kansas City would be blown out like that. They were destroyed. Angelo Cataldi's going to join us at 3:30. Also, we're hoping to catch Gary Cobb. Zander's going to be with us. It's just the beatdown. Big Sills, we did it. No doubt. Did it? Convincing fashion. Absolutely floored by our defense. We made Mahomes look like Daniel Jones. Redemption. Been on the ride for all of us. Thank you for giving the fans a voice and voicing how we feel. World champions. No question about it, Anthony. That was well-deserved. And for a fan base like the Philadelphia Eagles, kudos to you. You should be sitting around so excited about your fucking football team right now on what they did and how they destroyed another professional football team with a guy who's considered one of the GOATs. Unbelievable. This is no more theory talk. This is all reality now. Your reality is real. That's why people like Zander and people from Philadelphia can't believe it right now, because you know why it hasn't sunken in? Because now it's reality. All you did was talk about it. All it was this. Now it's not this. Now it's etched in stone. You put your footprints in the sand here, guys. That wasn't just a beat down. That was an iconic performance that I've not seen since the Bears. That, I want you, see, hey, winning a Super Bowl is one thing. Do you understand? You crushed the team in the game. You destroyed them. Cooper DeJean IQ on defense is incredible. And whoever Q was guarding was invisible. Dude, Quinyon Mitchell's name thing get barked out all night. Those 2 rookies are literally the saving grace for our defense. And I think the guy in the middle, too, and the other guy in the middle is also a saving grace. Okay? I think that's also a saving grace on what you're seeing there, too. Tremendous performance. I was in all the whole, you know what I was saying the whole night? Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. My wife started laughing. I'm going, holy fucking shit. I can't believe how they're ripping this team a new one. Dude, that was built to ass. Running back to Checo, wide receiver Worthy and Casey family, another players party at Vandal Lounge next to me the night before. Had no focus in New Orleans. Well, that wasn't the case for the Eagles, man. They got on the football field and were completely focused. There's no question Vic Fangio outcoached Andy Reid. Vic Fangio outcoached Andy Reid. Still defensively, which Super Bowl reminds you more of 25? Rich Gannon's loss to the Bucs, to Peyton. Manning's loss to the Seahawks. This thing here, man, has the. It's more. That Bucs beatdown was pretty good in San Diego. That the Buccaneers took the Raiders out. This thing reminds me, again, like I said, it reminds me more of the Bears in '86, killing that Patriots team. They held the Patriots to 7 yards rushing. But that Patriots team is not what the Chiefs had done. That's why that may be more statistically an ass beating, but this is more historically an ass beating. Fucking great. Tremendous performance by the coaches. Howie. Let me ask you something here before we continue. Does Jeffrey Lurie now make Howie Roseman the richest general manager in all of sports for what he's been building? Would you not agree, Howie Roseman, since he came out of the Chip Kelly closet, he's been better. He's been better. Don't you make him the highest paid general manager? My favorite player of the game was Milton Williams, another tremendous ball player. Almost broke Patrick Mahomes' armor, reminding me of Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick. You got to pay Howie Roseman. I mean, you got to pay him. The one thing I love about Sills is that this show is that he could change his opinion on something and say, I'm wrong. You didn't make any excuses. Salute. Anthony, they proved me wrong. I told you what I would do on a Monday. They fucking went out and emphatically proved me wrong. God, I love that. Fuck. Don't you? Players going out and performing and shutting people up, changing narratives. That's what it's about, dude. Oren Burks, no drop off from Nakobe Dean. By the way, he's a free agent. I think he's vital. You have to sign him. You have to sign Oren Burks now until Dean gets back. And you know what your 3-man, maybe 4-man rotation will be? Oren Burks, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, and Jeremiah Trotter. There's your 4 backers for the next 5 years. Zander, you missed my super chat. Even though they didn't get a lot of yards by sticking with the run game, with the play calling, play action was open all night long, and they never abandoned it and never abandoned who they are. Harv, exactly right. Hurts was great. Zander, I may have missed the super. Somebody says I missed one. I thought we'd been getting them all here. How we can't draft defense, you said that. I did. These are the first guys he's nailed. And at the right time. These are the first players. He's failed miserably at corner for 20 years. He lands on 2. Hey, who cares about the past? We live in the present now. His history hasn't changed, my friends. Because you win a Super Bowl doesn't change the fact that these are the first 2 people that he's landed on. I mean, that's not changed. That's not changed. It's still the same. But they hit him, and you get 2 of them. Kudos to you, man. Kudos. By the numbers now. By the way, yeah. I fear Barkley was amazing. Jalen stepped up. Dude, the fear of Barkley, was he kind of like a decoy? I thought Saquon gave you tough fucking yards in that game. This defense travels and plays well in the dome. I told you they'd look faster. Holding teams to under 20 points. Did I not tell you that favors being in that dome and on that surface? That favored Philly. You're just faster than what they are. Supers go to the top. Please give me a total on the number where we are in the likes. The historic Georgia defense has made their mark in Philly. Did they ever? Emphatically. First Take had an interesting take. Jalen obviously doesn't look as pretty as the other quarterbacks, but he wins far more than the other guys. Do you rank a guy like that? And how you rank him? Zander, I've missed a couple here. wins far more than how you rank a guy like that. How do you rank a guy like that? Zander, if we can get those supers. I love Philly, but it's disgusting how a lot of these people destroy our city after a win. Yeah, I never got that too, Jason. I never got that, my friend. The Chiefs were so focused on Barkley. They got what Hurts can do with this offense, and QB1 made them pay. Absolutely. I'm behind on that one there, Jan. I've been critical of JALEN and Coach Nick. If they kick my ass along the way, Kansas City's worth it. All hail the Eagles. We end dynasties, and no one likes it. We don't care. And B, great. Saquon, pass pro, is elite. He is a fucking weapon in pass protection. He is a weapon. Dude, his pass protection was insane last night. He was great last night. Guys, hit the like button. Give me a total on the likes. By the numbers. I mean, the defensive numbers are insanity. They're just insane here on what you did defensively here. Just insane. All across the board on what you did defensively. First downs, 21-12. Wait till I show you this one here. And it tells you again a little bit about the trend of the game. I hope Howie drafts another DEDT early in the draft. Keep that line young, deep, and inexpensive. Great take, John. Look at this, total plays. Eagles ran 70. This time you held them 49 plays. And you crushed them because you finished them off. The long 5-year run wore Kansas City down, played a factor. I guess, Anthony, but I'm not going to use that today. I agree. But you got to show, dude, a part of your game has to show up, doesn't it? Nobody showed up. The coaching didn't show up. Total yards, 345 to 278. Chief, that game looked like 100-0 to me. Or at least it felt like 100-0 to me. Seals, the first Super Bowl win will always have a special place in my heart, but this one is more satisfying to me. Best Super Bowl ever. Elite team. Elite team, historic team on what they did. And now, like I said, with the wins, you add up all the shit they've done to get there in their journey, it now validates it. I said you validate that stuff. You have to have a champion. Hey, guys, do you realize what you've done here? This is not about one night. This is about what Hurts talks about, the journey. This is the 4-year journey, not a 1-year night or 1-game night. This is the journey of 4 years. It all came to a head. It came to a head last night. By the way, I'm just telling you what I saw yesterday and what I felt yesterday watching this thing. I can't tell you how many times I said, oh my fucking God, I can't believe they're dismantling, not winning. I don't think I ever said that last night. I can't believe they're winning. I think I said, I can't believe they're dismantling this team. My wife was the one that pointed out, did they blitz tonight? I'm like, I don't think so. So they got home with 4 guys. That's how you whip a team. That's how you whip a fucking team. Holy shit. I'll tell you what you did. You exposed Kansas City. They got a lot of work to do. Kansas City's got a ton of work to do. Ton of work. 6 sacks in the ball game. All hail. Bird Gang. Kingdom. Bang, bang. Hurts was good. He really was. Hurts was great. Man. Get this. You had 8 penalties for 59 yards. Really? Fucking, you had a turnover and you had 8 penalties. And that didn't even play a factor. It had nothing to do with the game. You just beat the fuck out of them. calling it now, Birds will be the first team to three-peat. I'm not going there. Okay? Let's see how you get through free agency first. Everything Kansas City did to us in 23, we did to them last night. No run game, one-dimensional, 0 turnovers, and no coaching adjustments. Last night literally felt like Avengers Endgame. I mean, took us time, but we won. Man, halftime, I thought the game was over. I said it to my folks that were there. I said, the game's over. Okay? Hogan down bad. Okay? The D-line was the X factor, and it's the area with the biggest decisions to make off season. Should be interesting. Corey, yes, should be. You were fucking electric last night as an organization. Every single area of your fucking football team last night was on display. The front office, the coaching, the players' execution. You didn't have a flaw last night, and if you did, it didn't have an impact on the game. Because you know why? You were just better. You fucking went into that game, and you grabbed these guys by the nuts, and you fucking twisted it off and said, I own the night. I own the day. You own the day today. You had the ball for 30. You know what? I opened up the show with what the Bears did in that Super Bowl. Listen to this. The Bears had the ball for 40 minutes in that game. Last night you had the ball for theoretically 37 minutes in a 60-minute ball game. I mean, almost 40 minutes you had that fucker. At a 60-minute ball game, Kansas City had no room to breathe. You did not let off the – you know what you did? You beat them up so fucking bad, they couldn't breathe. When they looked up, they were down 24-0. It was over. Never forget this guy said Jalen would never win. Absolutely, Mello. Never forget that. I said that. Congratulations, he won. Never forget that. I fucking refuse to say and always will say one thing to you, my friends. I live on what I say. Unlike others. You damn right I said that. Kudos to him. That makes it mean more to me when that fucking guy comes through. Difference between me and you, dickhead. I live and I stand on what I do for 40 years on the air. There's a difference. In my show and any show you watch. Any show you watch. I am so excited for you. Look at M. Reyes. M. Reyes thinks I'm mad. No, I'm excited for you. Mad? How could you be mad at a performance like that? I told you I love watching greatness. I was on display last night. How could you be mad at anything on what you witnessed last night? That was fucking tremendous. Let's be honest, if the Patriots and Chiefs played in the NFC East, I don't think they'd have all those rings. You're not suggesting to me you think that Dallas and New York are a good football team, do you? I sure hope you don't think that. Zander, I missed a couple super chats because of a stupid-ass comment. Do me a favor if we can get some of those. Guys, please hit the like button. Says, who's the OC do for the Birds to build to this win? I'm going to say Frank Reich. Okay, but they're probably going to go Kevin Patullo. Okay, because they're going to want to try to keep some continuity in the building. And I don't know if I have a problem with that. As long as they keep the running the football the way they are. Zander, I think I got a couple more of these because you guys were great. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Give me a total on the likes here, too. We're 43 minutes into the ball game. You guys are killing it here. What was Kansas City's offensive game plan? Everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. Nothing looked fluid. Their defense actually held Saquon and blitzed pretty well. I'll tell you, Gabe, you know what they said in this ball game? Hurts can't beat me. And he did. Reed and Spags are overrated. So you think the guys with 5 AFC titles and 3 Super Bowl rings are overrated? Kyle, that's an asshole comment. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Overrated? They were outplayed last night. That's such a Monday morning comment. How are they overrated with 3 rings? Spags got 4 and all the conference championships. How's that fucking overrated? I mean, what's next? Mahomes is not great? How dumb can you say? Stupid comments. Dude, don't. Here's what you get sometimes with comments like Kyle's. Don't downplay who you played. Lift them up. It builds your win up more. Don't you understand that? A guy like Kyle is trying to tell you that Andy Reid and Spags are overrated. So that why? You can diminish your win and your dominant performance? You take a shot at your own fucking win. It's a stupid take. It's a stupid take. You were dominant last night against dominant people. Mahomes, 21 to 32, 257, 3 TDs, and 2 interceptions. Bro, it was the worst game I've ever seen him play. Hurts 17 to 22, 221, a touchdown and a pick. Hurts 72 yards rushing. It was great in the ball game. We said 3 TDs. He ended up with 3 TDs. I thought he had 65 yards rushing. He ended up landed on 72. I thought he'd be around 150 yards passing. Had more yards passing. Had a great throw to the center of the field on a TD pass. Was probably the offensive play of the game. Barkley had 25 tough-ass carries for 57 yards. They were critical in the win. Devontae, 4 for 69. AJ, 343 and 1. Xavier Worthy had a great game, but it was stupid time. It was in Kirk Cousins' time. 8 for 157 and 2. Game was over when he started adding those numbers that the Chiefs got. Dude, they just made the score box look better. For future references and historical references, Kansas City made the box score look better. So when you look back on it, that they didn't get murdered like I thought they were going to shut them out. 75 points against Spags in 2 Super Bowls, no adjustments. Zander, I missed the super here. Apologize, guys. They're coming. They're whipping in on me. Patrick Mahomes will probably finish his career with 6 Super Bowls. Even Brady knows this kid is some serious player. Machiavelli, he is. Anybody who fucking goes on one night that Patrick Mahomes is overrated or Reed's overrated or Spags is overrated, you're fucking retarded. Okay? Retarded. And don't downplay your win. You beat – that's like downplaying Brady and Belichick. Play it. Elevate who you beat. It elevates your win. Stupid. Why would you take a shot at your own game? Zach Bond. He gets the Mr. Consistency trophy. Guy's been the best player on the Eagles all year long. I mean, every fucking game. You know, how many times did we say this from the Green Bay Brazil game? He can't do this. How many games the Eagles play this year? He did it every week. This guy did this every week. Every week he did this. It's unbelievable on what I saw. Every week he did this. It was absolutely unbelievable on what he did. I mean, unreal. Every single week, he was playing like this at an incredible level. Says you think the 2023 Super Bowl would have had the same outcome with Fangio calling the D instead of Gannon. Not with the same players you had a year ago. Because Hassan Reddick didn't want to play. Hit the like button, guys. Killing it in the first hour. Josh Sweat. Hey, look. I'm not going to say Josh Sweat should have been the MVP because you know why? you'll think I'm taking some sort of fucking psycho shot at Jalen Hurts. 6'2", 2.5, 3 tackles for losses, and 5 hits on the quarterback. The fuck are you talking about? He was unblockable. And the other guy, Milton, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 3 hits on the quarterback. Those 2 guys were off the charts unblockable. Get this. Jalen Carter had a nice game. Those 2 guys were off the charts. They were off the charts. It's the best games I've ever seen both those guys play. In the most important game that those guys will ever play. I've never seen those guys play like that before in my entire life. They were just, what a money game for them. Holy cow. Were they insane? Whoa. Cooper DeJean. You know, I saw something like a pump. He showed up, man, in a great game. Actually, the last 2 weeks, NFC title game and Super Bowl. Hurts is my Messiah. Hey, he delivered. He's the deliverer. Super Bowl 57, Rocky won. Super Bowl 59, Rocky 2. Like that. The Chiefs beat a lot of really good teams in the AFC, but the Super Bowl shows that none of these teams had the defense the Eagles did. Absolutely true. You know what we should have saw that, Jeremiah? With that Ravens game. And how easily that the Eagles beat the Ravens. And how Kansas City had to kind of move around with them. You know, we should have saw that should have been more. Instead of the Steeler game, that should have been the tell game for us. That they weren't going to be able to handle that defense. They couldn't handle the defense. Kellen Moore is here to stay. Tell you what, I know Nick made a plea for him. And it would not shock me. I think that thing could go either way, whether they keep him in the room, on him going there. Remember something. They got Capel working out. They got a quarterback to figure out. You got a lot of work to do there in New Orleans. Got a lot of work to do. They took that team apart, dude. Please mention how Jalen's Carter work in the middle opened up things for his teammates Sweat and Williams. Mahomes couldn't step up. He could not step up in the pocket because of Jordan Davis, too. He had no room to step up in the pocket, and they closed the perimeter down. Okay? Guys had an iconic performance. Angelo Cataldi's going to join us at 3:30. Hit the like button, guys. Here's my game balls. And I'm going to start from 10. I gave AJ one. AJ sucked it up. That's not how he wanted to win a Super Bowl. But he sucked it up. Now he's got a ring on his finger and an NFC Championship ring on his finger. Of all the star wide receivers in the NFL right now, who can say that? Tyreek Hill can say that. Who else? I'm talking about guys in their prime. Kupp has that. I'm not thinking Kupp's in his prime, though. Name me one. Let's see. Tyreek Hill. Who else? DK Metcalf? No. Debo, who's just been told he can be traded? No. Who else? Who else? Devontae Adams? No. Stephon Diggs? No. Justin Jefferson? No. Mike Evans? Is he still in his prime? I don't think so. Name me a wide receiver in their prime right now. Mike Evans isn't in his prime. Name me a receiver in their prime right now. Jamar Chase has a AFC Championship ring. Okay? Not awful. Kansas City plays man defense mainly, and the Eagles' offense excels against man, especially passing offenses. Kansas City's defense was still really good in great positions, but Eagle players are better, and they are elite. They are, Jason. They played elite football in there. Big Sills, I just got here. Who do you think deserved the MVP last night? Quarterback's going to get that. I thought Sweat was the best player on the field last night. I thought he was the best player. Jamar Chase has no – AJ's the most accomplished wide receiver, big-time wide receiver in the NFL right now that's in their prime. Name me another one. Jefferson, Chase, and who else? Ahmad St. Brown. Who else? No one. Chiefs had no answer for Vic's cover 4. I couldn't believe he got confused with that. You think St. Brown's got the same resume now with AJ with 2 NFC championship rings and a Super Bowl title? How is he more accomplished? How is he more accomplished than AJ? I mean, I don't see it. He's the number one. You can make the argument he's the most accomplished wide receiver, number 1 wide receiver in their prime in the league right now. Well, he's got to look at it like that. May not have had the superstar number. Get this. Remember what Phil Jackson used to tell Michael Jordan? Hey, Mike, you want to win NBA championships? You got to stop winning scoring titles. They went on to win 6. Remember? That was one of the conversations that Jordan said that Phil Jackson had with him. Hey, you want to start winning championships? Devontae's not the number 1 receiver on the Eagles. Okay? We're talking about number 1s. CeeDee Lamb, again, nothing. No accomplish. Number 9, Quinyon Mitchell. I didn't hear his name all fucking night. When I don't hear a corner's name, what a lights-out game he must have played. All I got to say, Vic Fangio's goated. What a performance. Barkley, 57. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Barkley had what? Saquon had about 97 yards in total offense last night, right? Had like 57 rushing, 40 in the air. Tremendous blocking. Had about 100 yards total offense last night. They were hard fought, man. He gets game ball 8. Number 7, Devontae Smith. He was just tremendous getting. How many times did he get past and beyond the Chiefs secondary in one-on-one? He beat the secondary all night at the Chiefs. Saquon was spectacular in blitz pickup. A dirty job, and he did it. He was so fucking good last night, Barkley. I mean, people probably don't understand what pass protection is for a running back. That's why most guys don't play. He was awesome in it. Number 6, I'm sorry to say this to you, and I know all you Nakobe Dean lovers, Oren Burks did not have one bit of drop-off from Dean to him. It was the same look. He played spectacular throughout the entire playoffs. There wasn't a game he played in the playoffs where he wasn't a game ball winner. He was fucking incredible. He had an absolutely insane game on how good he was. Kind of like the 75 Steelers. I'm saying 85 Bears. Hey, by the way, no disrespect to Seth Joyner. They may have had better players on Gang Green. This is a better unit. You're more accomplished. This unit is the most accomplished unit in Philadelphia Eagle history, including the 17 Super Bowl. You gave up 500 yards in that game. Or probably more because Brady had 500 himself. And you crushed that Chiefs team. This is the best Eagle defense in Super Bowl era history. You watched it. That's why it's historic. Because you took out Gangrene. That'll be one of the most memorable performances of all time defensively. No one's ever made Brady look bad in a Super Bowl, and no one's ever made Montana. Montana had no picks. You want to hear a stat? What you guys did, Patrick Mahomes has more picks in 5 games than Brady does now in 10. Do you hear me? Mahomes has thrown more picks in 5 Super Bowl appearances than Brady has thrown in 10 appearances. That's what you did last night. Okay? What happens to Gainwell? He's a free agent. I don't care. Go get the kid from Arizona State, draft him in the 3rd, 4th round. Put him back there with Barkley. You need more of a power back there, in my opinion. Help out Saquon. You got Shipley if you want to put him in the pass game. Number 5, I got Cooper DeJean. I saw something. Will somebody tell me this? I saw a high school jacket on Cooper DeJean that said 2021. Did that fucking kid graduate high school in 2021? How many years did he play at Iowa? 3? 2? Did he come out early? Are you telling me that guy graduated high school in 2021? And that guy has a pick 6 against Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and you're fucking telling me that guy's standing in the end zone with a Super Bowl pick, and he graduated in 2021? The only reason that guy didn't go in the first round is because he's white. The Miami defense were a bunch of babies. That's right. How does that look now if you're down there in Miami and you say Nick was old man thinking fucking guy standards were different, no one wanted to listen to him, number 1 defense, and now he's a Super Bowl champion coordinator. Miami looks like a bunch of dicks now. You let that guy go? You let that guy go. Unbelievable. Miami looks stupid. Hit the like button, guys. Great first hour. Do me a favor. Give me a total on the likes. Iconic performance. There's nothing more to say. By the way, I'm going to get to Hurts here in a minute. Okay? Number 4 on my game balls. Milton Williams. Milton Williams was a sensational superstar last night. He was sensational. Number 3, Mr. Consistency. Zach Bond. Just tremendous. Number 2, and I went back and forth, and I probably put Josh Sweat number 2 because I didn't want anybody to think that I was hating on Hurts. Josh Sweat was the best player on the field last night. He was unstoppable. He just was unstoppable. You know what he's motivated by? What's to come for him. He has now made it very clear. Hey, here I am. Highest bidder. Come get me. That's who Drew Rosenhaus is. And for the record, this was inevitable anyway. This was inevitable. I wouldn't sweat it if you signed Myles Garrett. And by the way, you know what I would do if I were you, if I were an Eagle fan? Hey, Josh, you helped us win 2 NFC championships. Thank you. Your service is well done here. You had a hell of a Super Bowl. Good luck to you in the future. You'll always be welcome back here in Philadelphia. Thank you very much for what you did. Should we keep Sweat? No. It's not economically worth it. He's going to command $22 million. 18 to $20 million. Somebody will overpay for him because of what he did in the Super Bowl. Is he deserving of that? Yeah, this year. Next year, probably not. And depending on what system he goes to, how do you know he's going to fit in where he goes? I don't know that. That's always a gamble in free agency. Are you really sure you want to go somewhere? You better go somewhere where they'll pay you and you got a shot. And I got Jalen Hurts number 1. Here's the thing you got to remember about Jalen Hurts. And here's the one thing that I'll say about him. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Herbert, they're now theory. Well, they're better than Jalen. Well, what do I tell you about resumes? Well, how many of these guys here have helped their team win 2 NFC or conference titles? How many have a Super Bowl ring? How many of them have a Super Bowl MVP? No matter what I fucking say. Sills, you tell people to read resumes every day. Who's got a better resume than me? No one. You got a better resume than Stafford now. No matter what I say, it's irrelevant. No matter what I put out there, it's irrelevant. He's won 2 conference titles. He's got one of the highest win percentages now in football. He's got, like I said, 2 conference championship rings in a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. What the fuck do you want me to do about that? Argue it? Can't. There's no arguing it. He did it. If you want to make a movie on a kid, I used to always think this. The greatest movie that I think you could ever have is Kurt Warner's movie. Here's a guy that was benched in a national championship game at halftime. You want to know what resiliency is? It's your quarterback in Philly. It's your QB in Philly. Being resilient, winning, there's no debate. Sills, you keep telling me Lamar and Josh are better. Yeah, I know. Well, Jalen's won more. And things that matter. I look dumb. Yeah, but they're better. Aaron Rodgers is better than Brady. Does it matter? No. Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady. But that has no relevancy in the conversation. When you're talking about championships, it really doesn't. My comments fall on deaf ears. Sills, you're not seeing the fucking gold through the hedges here. You tell us all the time. We're just using your own metric, resume. Name me another guy in the fucking NFL outside of Mahomes that's got a resume that speaks to Jalen Hurts' resume. There isn't one. Russell Wilson, well, that guy's on the back 9, and he's going to be looking for a new team. I'm not putting him there. Russell Wilson's time is gone. Do you understand when players perform and change their narrative? To me, that's what the great. Hey, let me ask you this. Did Brady change the narrative on a 6th-round draft choice coming out of Michigan? And he was picked to be some sort of Tanner McKee. Was he not? Did Brady change the narrative on a 6th-round pick? He did. What are you going to do? Debate 10 Super Bowl appearances and 7 wins? How do you debate that? You can't. There is no fucking debating that. There's no debating that. I mean, there's none. Why would more coach the Saints? They are a complete dumpster fire. I know head coaches are rare, but you're set up for failure, Nola. Khalid, $2 million over the next 3 years, 6, versus 30. You can add, right? 30 million versus 6 million. I mean, you can add, right? Tremendous. Tremendous performance. Hit the like button. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will be with us at the bottom of the hour here. I want to give some Super Bowl awards out now. Let me start from the back here. We'll work our way up. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you, guys. Give me a total on our likes. You guys have been great. Super chats go to the top. Thank you very much. We can't do this stuff without you. You were great on the post-game show last night as well. So let's go here with some of these awards. It's very good. 450 in the first hour. Keep it up, guys. The Front Office Award. Howie and the owner. Since Chip Kelly, Howie and the owner have carved out a niche. They've carved out a niche. 3 conference championships, a Super Bowl, massive winning, moving off of coaches, moving off of quarterbacks. Michael, thank you very much. I mean, it's a lesson in how to build an organization coming out of a situation like Chip Kelly. Front office gets a ton of kudos and has a lot of impact in this here. And I'll tell you this, I think there's more impact in this Super Bowl from your front office than there was in 17. You know why? I always thought there was a power struggle between Doug and the front office. They're working together. I think they're working together. That's why your Super Bowl window's open more. Your Super Bowl window is open more now because there's not infighting between who's going to get the credit for it. I think everybody's comfortable with sharing the wealth this time around versus what happened in 17. The Mr. Tough Guy Award goes to Saquon Barkley. His pass pro was great. His tough yards, 97 total yards, was kind of more of a decoy in this ball game, along with AJ. He gave you a really great, tough game. May not have shown up on the stat line, but you know what he gave you? He gave you one whale of a fucking tough performance. He played his ass off last night, in my opinion. Angelo's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. The Mr. Substitute of the Super Bowl Award goes to Oren Burks. Jesus Christ. The coaching, Bobby King might be the position coach of the year. Oh, he might be the position coach of the year. I mean, I know that, Stoutland's the run coordinator, so he's kind of considered the coordinator of the offensive running game. But boy, I'll tell you, Bobby King's the last 2 years of linebacker play in Philadelphia have really reaped a lot of negativity, especially from me, because they've just not been good. They bring this Bobby King guy in. He's fucking transformed your linebacking core and your talent like I've not seen. He's been spectacular. I mean, he's going to get a coordinating job somewhere one day down the line. I don't know this year, next year, but somebody's going to give him an opportunity to be a defensive coordinator, because the player development that he did this year, every time they put a guy in, there was no drop off. You know what he coached like? I'll tell you. He coached like Jeff Stoutland. Oh, let's do this. How do you think Clint Hurtt's front four played? How do you think his front four played? That was an exhibition of football last night by Clint's guys. He put an exhibition on. His four guys dominated that football game. His four guys controlled that game. One blitz. I mean, you don't have to blitz Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl and you crush him? In his entire career, I don't think that's ever happened. They did something last night that Mahomes has never seen. I mean, even Jalen Hunt was a factor last night. Fucking insane. Just fucking insane how great of a performance that thing was last night. You cannot in any way not come away going, man, it's just unbelievable. The Mr. Consistency Award, Zach Bond. Wow. He's been the most consistent ball player on your football team all year long. Since Brazil, he kept the pace up. Okay. I happen to tune in a little bit too to what John was saying about Jalen Hurts not getting criticized. I don't know what the fuck John's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not the only one that people have gone after. Nick Wright, people on ESPN, people on Fox. He's out of his tree. Jalen has to be one of the most scrutinized guys at the position in the league. I'd say top 3. I don't know what John's talking about. He's not really criticized. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The Death Nail Award. Cooper DeJean, pick 6. He gets it. God, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to say it one more time. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Cooper DeJean impresses me more than Quinyon Mitchell. He impresses me more. I think ever since they put him in after the bye, the defense never looked the same. I mean, the defense never looked the same. After they put, would you guys agree to that? That prior to the bye, they didn't have him starting, right? They put him in after the bye. The defense never looked the same. I mean, tremendous. Unit, most valuable player, D-line. Almost no blitzes, controlled the game. They outplayed your old line. What? The Philadelphia Eagles once again have the best combination of D-line, O-line in the league. That is scary. That's what won the Super Bowl for you in 17. You know, that was my drumbeat going into that game. I didn't know how Foles would play, but I remember saying this going into that game. Eagles got the best O-line, D-line combo heading into that game. I'll take their O-line and their D-line. That could be the outcome of the game, and it was. But this is better. It's the best O-line, D-line combination in the league. Can anyone name me a better one? It's got a better O-line, better D-line as a combo. Philadelphia Eagles own the trenches. You have to go to warfare when you play them. I mean, dude, for a guy like me, saying that you own the best lines in football, us, you can't lose a war or a battle when you have that. I might be prisoner of the moment, but Zach Bonds might have had a Hall of Fame season. It might be better than Fred Warner. See, you are a prisoner of the moment. Let's see a couple of years stacked on top of one another before you start calling him better than Fred Warner. Okay? Let's do that. That's like telling me, well, John Sweat's got a Super Bowl ring. Reggie White didn't have one in Philly. And he's the better defensive end in Philadelphia Eagle history. Come on, man. I mean, that's not what that is. So let's put a couple years on top of one another here for Orn. Is he going to be here's something else to think about too, TP. When you make a comment like that, you think Bond's going to be able to be consistent like that year in and year out for the next 3 or 4 years? That's theory. That's a theory. Okay? That's not fact because he hasn't done it yet. No one's saying he won't. But until he proves that, that's just theory. Let me ask you something too, TP. To that point, are you going to pay a guy based off of 1 year, $20 million a year? Are you going to give him a 3-year, $60 million deal with 38 of it guaranteed? Are you? And will Bond maybe take 5x or less off the top? Probably. He may do that. He loves it in Philly, and he loves Vic. Here in a couple minutes, we're going to get our friend Angelo Cataldi on with us. Cooper was hurt, but when he healed and got caught up, he went in, and I'm sick of people trying to divide the team. They all played great together team ball. They did. Nobody's trying to divide it. I mean, that was a team effort last night. Played exceptional football across the line. They were great. 5 years, 80. Well, you're gonna have to. I would take the 5th year. I would. Guys, give me a total on the likes. I can't thank you enough. Please, supers, all go to the top here. I wrote down free agency. And I talked to Drew Rosenhaus and Dan Morgan this morning. Would you like to hear some early projections on your most important free agents? Would you like to hear them? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of your free agents. I talked to a general manager, and I talked to an executive in New England, Alonzo Highsmith, and I talked to a bunch of people who are going to be out scouting and recruiting potential free agents in this coming offseason here, okay? So, you tell me, all right? Zach Bond, he will be pursued by the Washington Commanders and the Denver Broncos in this upcoming season, if he so chooses to go free agency. Those two teams would be in the market. What do I think happens? I don't know what his agent is going to tell him or project him to be. I have no idea. And Daz is saying he's going nowhere. Okay. I have no problem with you saying that right now on February 10th. Absolutely true. He will be one of the hottest sought-after free agents in all of the NFL. Number 2, Mekhi Becton. Texans and Chiefs. Chiefs have to rebuild that O-line after that nightmare last night. And Texans have to get help for C.J. Stroud. What is Becton going to do? Again, these are early projections. I'm not telling you on February 10th they're leaving because I don't know that. All I know is that I talked to some GMs and I talked to people that are in these organizations that we've had on these programs that you know, and this is what they're saying. These people are going to be sought after. Would a second rounder and Kenny Pickett be enough? Absolutely not. Chris, Kenny Pickett and a second rounder for Myles Garrett? You better chalk up 2 ones and a player for Myles Garrett. This guy's coming in wanting to give you an old broken down 1984 F-150 for a Ferrari. Happening. Kenny Pickett and a second rounder for Myles Garrett? I mean, you couldn't get Jason Garrett for that. Von Miller was traded to the Rams for a second and third. Dude, Kenny Pickett's a nobody. And a second rounder, that's not enough. All right. Hey, let me ask you something here about Oren Burks being an unrestricted free agent. Now that Nakobe Dean's injured, don't you think that he becomes more important in the process now on having him come back? Don't you sign him? Isn't he not more valuable now to your team? Don't you think he's important? I think he is, because that means I don't have to go into the draft now and try to figure out to find somebody else. He's not going to cost me a mint, but I'm bringing his ass back because I don't know what the status of, and here would be my rotation once he comes back, right? Bond, Burks, Trotter, Dean. There would be my 4 dudes. That's your linebacking group? Oren Burks played great for you in the postseason. I'm not letting that guy walk out the building if I can pay him, man. Dude, if he goes on the open market, he'll be a dude. He'll get some decent money. But I think you've got to bring him back because of the injury to Nakobe Dean. I think you've got to bring him back. Okay? Hit the like button, guys. You guys have been great. Give me a total on the likes. I love you guys' super chats. Sweat and Milton in a first for Miles. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Okay? Now you are talking. We're going to get to all your super chats. By the way, you guys have been great. I mean, we've got over 1,200 people in here on all the platforms here right now. We appreciate everybody coming in here. I got to tell you one more time here, before we bring Angelo up here, that's one of the best performances I've ever seen by a defensive football team in the Super Bowl. And I would make this point to you. That's the best performance I've seen since the Bears beat the doorknobs off the Patriots when they held them to 7 yards rushing when Bledsoe was the quarterback. The only difference is that was a non-salary cap era. That wasn't Reed and Mahomes and everybody was glazing over them. You're talking about knocking off people that are being considered iconic. I never want to hear this again about Reed and also Mahomes. Hey, Belichick and Mahomes. Dude, Belichick and Brady never got destroyed in Super Bowls. They never were destroyed like this. That team was unprepared. Josh Sweat was the best player on the field last night. Man, what an absolute ass beating. I'm going to bring Angelo up here in a sec. I got to tell you, I looked over at my wife. I went, 23 yards in the first half in total offense. This thing's over. I'll do it to Angelo here. Watch this. Coin toss at the start of the game. That thing was over. More of an iconic win than 17. That may have been your first. You always remember it? That's a beatdown. Let's bring our friend Angelo Cataldi in, who